Long way, get this shit a long way, this shit a long way. Long way, hit it long way, 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 shit, long way, long shit, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be trippin' every day, she be trippin' every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way, gotta get this shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, every day we gotta get paid, I'm feeling like we be the new slave, no we gotta finish rich, no we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich, she don't understand niggas gotta get rich, she don't understand sometimes we gotta hit lit, no we ain't hit lit, tryna get the long way, tryna get the shit the long way, Coach is tryna wrap up a entree, told you the other day that did my palm strong, we gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, get the shit the long way, my bitch be trippin' back and forth like a palm way, my name is Tari, I'm not playing games, so I'm done talking, yesterday she told me that she bout to leave, I said fuck it bitch, we gon' get some money, I said fuck it bitch, I'm about to get some money, so what I do today, I want to get some money, cause we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get shit the long way, back and forth like the palm way, man I'ma get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way, just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy, we gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day, we be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, for so we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit long way, we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit the long way, we get shit the long way, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, we gon' get the long way,
Hey, what's up everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm LJ Young, the founder of SMD. What's up down South Yellow? What's up Andre? Of course the scout, Omanike. What's going on? Tinfoil hat. Hello Dan, hello. I said Omanike. Nick, oh there goes Nick right there. Welcome. Like I said, I am the founder of SMD. I'm not SMD. SMD is a family of people that I guess agree with me what I do. And what I do here is I share my gift. And my gift is I try to simplify it even more and more each time, where I understand that capitalism is psychological, split into two parts, positive and negative. All right. The negative side is where debt slaves live. Now, debt slaves are people that believe they can own with no money of their own. They think they can buy houses with mortgages, cars with car loans. They finance phones every year, think it's normal. Think they can retire with student loans older than the retirement account. Those are called debt slaves. Now, I was a debt slave once. All right, I woke up, came from the negative side to the positive side, and that's what I do today. I help people participate in the economy on the positive side, positively, where taxes are your friend. Taxes help build wealth. You don't finance cars and clothes and all that other stuff and things of that nature. But anyway, with this outlook, there's a psychological piece to it all. Oh, that's what I forgot to say. The psychological piece of it all, debt slaves don't know that they're debt slaves. They don't know that they don't own anything. They don't know that you shouldn't be financing cars. They don't they don't know that it's not cool to you shouldn't be financing phones. They don't know that was me. Okay, basically the bank woke me up. All right, and I came over here. Now that's what I do. I help people come to the deposit. So anyway, here I am. Welcome. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to be trying something different here with the Scouts Corner, good friend of mine and SMD family member. All right. And I'm going to bring him up here so he can let him introduce himself. Welcome, sir. Welcome. How you doing?
Oh man! Anytime I can hear that long way song coming in like that, I wanted to tell you before we got on air, but man, I don't implement it in my everyday life, man. When I be cruising around, you think I was joking? I
What, the
downloaded.
music?
Yeah, I downloaded that, man, and I got it in the car when I work out. Yeah, that's addictive in a good way type of song, man.
That's crazy, man. No, I kind of, it kind of, I guess I feel the same way when I first heard the song. That's why I reached out to the homeboy. I said, "Hey, man, can I use your song on my intro?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So it fit very well, honestly. The money, the kind of beat, all that kind of stuff,
Well, I wish there was a longer version. Because I had to sometimes I gotta put it on, where it keep going and going on by itself.
On
Because when I'm
repeat.
working out or something, I go walking or whatever. But
Uh,
yeah, man, that's some quality stuff. I love it.
okay, cool, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell the people about yourself and the people that don't know you and what we're gonna do. Kind of give them a layout of what we're trying to achieve today.
Right, right. Well, I'm on the journey of starting my own YouTube channel. And so, make a long story short, I got, started talking to LJ, and we go back ways now. And
Mhm.
so he was like, hey, go ahead, you can use my format, get your feet wet. And so I figured this is a win win for everybody because, I'm just starting out with the YouTube thing. So I figured I'd come on here and predominantly, talk about football, but at the same time, incorporate the SMD family philosophy into things. And today is perfect because for the longest I've been wanting to blend the football end of things with the SMD family philosophy of money
Mhm.
and how we go about doing our thing with the money as far as short time, long time. It's a lifestyle. It's just something you implement into your lifestyle, and it changes you not just with your money, but your characteristics and instincts of how you go about moving in life.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, for today's show, it was all about using the philosophy of the SMD um, with football. And what I mean
Mhm.
by that is I'm going to go more or less today. What I'm going to talk to LJ about is with the football season just starting, I'm seeing all kind of good prospects. That's what I do. And let
Mm.
me get back to that. That's what I do. I go by
Mhm.
the scout. I scout college to NFL. So I'm looking for prospects to make that move from college to NFL, not just make the roster, but be significant players. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
to me, a lot of people can get there's a 53-man roster in NFL. The 43 through 53 ain't the guys I'm looking for. To me, and hey, that's a beautiful thing making it on an NFL roster. That's anybody's dream.
Mm.
But I'm looking for those guys 1 through 43. Because 43 through 53, that's primarily your guys that, they're always looking to get replaced. Well,
Oh, the 43 through 53 are like the.
yeah, that's your depth people, and
And
people
when you
that
say
you're always
depth,
looking
like,
to.
okay, I'm
Yeah,
just trying to have a full understanding. The people that really don't play or something, or what does that mean?
right, right. They get
Gotcha.
reps, but that might be your third, fourth string type guys, or people
Gotcha.
that are
Okay.
developmental type guys. You got practice squads, and I believe there's 15 players, 15 to 20 players on a practice squad at the NFL level. So you
Mhm.
have those 43 to 53 guys at the end of the roster, plus practice squad guys. And I'm
So
not
practice
saying
squad guys just all they do is just come. They get paid to practice with the players.
right. They
Wow.
don't
Okay.
get to play on game day. Now the beautiful thing about being on the practice squad is there's what 32 teams in NFL. All the
Mhm.
other 31 teams can grab you off the practice squad, and if they do, then they have to pay you as though you're on the 53-man squad, so you get more money. So it's a beautiful thing to be on the practice squad because it just gives you exposure. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
so
Oh,
I have
okay.
no problem with the practice squad, but my eye is towards those guys that are predominantly going to be starters and
Right.
guys gonna be high rep guys,
And that's 1 through
behind the side.
43. 1 through
Right.
43. Got it.
And
Okay.
so that's where my eyes is looking at. But in saying so, with the college NFL kicking in like it is, man, I've seen all kind of players, and it made me think. I always want to do a show with you, as though say the NFL draft was right upon us,
Okay.
and you knew the first pick of the draft. My thing is, I want to talk about how you would lay a platform for him for the now, the middle,
Financially
and for
wise.
life.
Financial wise.
But
Yeah.
before we get into that,
Yeah.
because there's people that might not be familiar to SMD and LJ and what you're about. So definitely try and give them a background and foundation of who you are and what you bring to the table before we get into the football side of things.
Okay. And I thought about and you know me, I've been thinking about this for quite a while, and I've been talking about if I could get a hold of a rookie. And the first thing I would do is talk to him, see about his background first, right? Now, I would see where he came from, the parents, the mom and dad. That's important. That's very important to see how the family structure, what kind of, and like I said, it's bigger than that's what SMD is bigger. And I would say, what type of love is he getting? What kind of upbringing did he have some rules? Was he able to do it, or is he just like, oh, I can do anything, because I'm good, anybody want me? But anyway, but if that was all good, the next thing I would just talk to him about, sit him down about the SMD philosophy about money, so he can go in not like the majority of rookies going in there buying cars and clothes. And I would come more of at a depth, right? At a depth of, this is where it starts. We're gonna start with your credit report. SMD knows, stay out of debt. And then I would say, okay, before you go, sign contracts. And I don't even know how all that works, but I would make sure they had the proper representation. And when I mean proper representation, uh, uh, say like a lawyer or whatever that deals with NFL contract. Who is this person that's doing it? Was it recommended to you by? Were they recommended to you by somebody, or is this person personally debt free, or they just want the money? Who knows? But I would guide them right into the right way to where if they don't want to be, they can be in and out of the NFL and under their first contract and be rich for the rest of their life and don't even damage their body. But it counts on what they want, counts on where they're going.
Well, I definitely like the part where you talked about their background
Mm-hmm.
and societal situations. Like
Mm-hmm.
we was talking about last week. For me, for instance, piggybacking off last week, when I was talking about the coaching end of things, I always wanted to see what their home life was like. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times I would try to set up to where, whether it was at their house or maybe they could come to, the facility or what have you, or at a
Did
third.
you prefer to go to their house though?
Yes.
Okay. I
Yes.
was
Because
that would seem important to me.
the first thing I wanted to know, am I dealing with a single parent home, two family
Yeah,
home?
yeah.
Is it low income? I don't care, but I need
Right.
to know these things because uh, I don't like generalizations, but at some point you got to generalize to get to the base of what we're
Correct.
trying to
Yeah,
figure out.
yeah.
So if it's a single parent home, whether it's a man or woman, and they might be low income, that usually comes with certain parameters. See what I'm saying? So I need to know that, and then get to talking to the parents individually or together with the player
Right,
there, and so
right.
we can all get on the same path. Because the last thing I want is for me to be talking to the parent or parents and then the player ain't there. See what I
Mm.
mean? I want them to be there, and so they know that I'm the real deal.
Everybody there, right? You want
Yeah,
everybody. Yeah, because you wanna see how they react or excuse me,
yeah,
not react, but interact with each other and
facial
you.
expressions, everything. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
If I'm talking back and forth to the parents, maybe they might how do I say it? Their tone might get a little loud about certain things I'm talking about. Now, I'm
Mm,
not gonna get loud because I stay pretty monotone no matter what. But the
mm,
thing is, I'm taking all that in. See what I'm saying? If I'm
mm,
asking you a basic question like Miss Smith, one thing that I want to implement with your son Charlie is, I'm definitely gonna raise the GPA
mm.
on the team because I think it's a privilege for a player to come onto the football team because the first thing you're there for is scholastic or
Exactly.
for your and so to play that sports is something taking on top of what you're doing in the
Right,
classroom. So I
right.
need to know that I got somebody that's going to be disciplined and about the team. So one thing I was going to ask you, Miss Smith, is that something that you would be willing to help with? Because I'm sure
Mm,
Charlie's going to have homework he needs to do. I would appreciate, if maybe he's having a hard time or you're having a hard time helping him with his homework or what have you. You can get in communication with me.
well, don't you know that already before you actually go visit the family if his schooling is already up to par, or is that in any way you cannot check? Well,
No, I would have an idea of what their GPA is,
mm,
but I'll be honest with you. Look, if you might have a low GPA, we starting from scratch. See what I
mm,
mean? So I'm trying to set the foundation. If your son might have a low GPA right now, that has nothing to do with the future
right.
because we're setting a new path, not only on the field but off the field. You know what I mean? Because I want to make sure they understand that we're utilizing football to get him we're using football as a vessel to get you somewhere else in life.
Now, let me ask you something. Are there, when okay, so when you went to their house like that,
Hmm.
right? And you kind of because they don't really because I know you and you know me, so they
Right.
don't know what you're going to look for when you go to their house. They don't really know because that's what they whatever it is, that's what they're used to, right?
Hmm.
Do they ever have the attitude like, "I'm good. I don't really feel like hearing what you got to say. You're just here. You're just here because our kid is good, and you're just another one trying to." Do you ever
Yeah,
see that type of attitude there?
absolutely, absolutely. But at the end of the day, by the time I leave out that door, I'm going to now. I don't want to even say convince them, but show my purity and passion for not only the game but for your child and where
Mm,
he's going beyond just football. See what I mean?
gotcha.
This is a lifestyle, not just with the football, but holistic as a person. See what I mean? Because to me,
Okay.
a coach goes beyond just the football field. To me,
O okay, so
you know.
say like you have a say like you've been coaching it. I mean, you found one, and then, he ends up being a rookie. I who okay, I'm trying to figure out how I can phrase this. So when it's time to lock these deals in and
Mhm.
sign the contracts how do they know who to pick to represent them, or are they just going by hey, NFL says, "Hey, we got some recommended guys that we can send you to handle your contracts and all this stuff." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How
Well,
do they
that's
know that's where I want to come in with SMD. I want to help them
mhm.
be able to pick the right person to represent them because I know we can't I know I can show them because because debt doesn't lie,
Mhm.
debts if they're a debt slave, we ain't trying to hear it, but I would come in with SMD and show them why that is. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Like
Because
like
I don't know how that works. I don't know if they're being taken advantage of. They just because they don't know anything because they've never seen that kind of money before, right? What
mhm,
do you do?
mhm.
How do you do it? Taxes and all this other stuff. So I would lay
Yeah.
that out.
A lot of it is the relationships you form over years. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
right.
Because see now with the NIL part of the situation where they're actually getting paid
What is that? What's
during
the NIL? What's that?
NIL is man, let me look NIL. I know it's you get a certain amount of money, and I believe it's for hold on, let me look it up.
You talking about rookie?
No, actually when you're in college.
Oh, they change. Oh, that's new, right?
Yeah.
Now, so they're getting paid for playing in college now, but are they what? Are we talking like 30,000 a year, 40,000? What are we
There
talking?
is no limit. Like, okay, here it is,
Oh,
NIL, name, image, and likeness. So what it is, say you're a any kind of sport. It could be volleyball. It don't matter.
hmm,
And you're on the internet or like I don't know TikTok, what have you.
right.
You can make a lot of money off that, especially if you're already an influencer, got a nice personality, and happen to be good at sports. I mean, you
Hmm.
can make millions of dollars. Like a lot of players now are staying in college because they can make more in college than going to their profession.
What?
Yeah, like a lot of the WNBA players,
Okay.
they might be a first round pick, but they can make more with the name, image, and likeness staying in college because they're more popular there
Who's
than
actually paying them? Is it the college paying them? Who's paying them?
no, no, the colleges have nothing to do with it. It's companies. Say you have
Oh.
Frito Lay, right? And somehow they say, "Oh man, we could use a player to get us out there more." Through we know that she eats Frito Lay, for instance. I don't know, and we can have her on Frito-Lay and make it even bigger. Maybe they give her 300,000 and it blows up. Then they might even give her more.
So it has nothing to do with the college at all.
Absolutely nothing. No.
Wow.
I think there are stipulations as far as you can't use like the uniforms of the college, you know, like that type of
So
thing.
like just same as NFL when they do commercials, they can't use the uniform of an NFL.
But other than that, I mean, I love it myself
Wow,
because
that's beautiful.
yeah, because
Absolutely.
for the longest, you know, the colleges was making money off them.
Oh man, they were.
Oh my, we talked about that, you know, offline
Yeah.
over and over. It was kind of, you know, I don't really like saying it like this, but it was kind of like a modern day slavery.
Yeah, you're right. That's
You know what I
crazy.
mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, when the NIL came, you know, a lot of people had different ideas about it, good and bad. And there can be bad, but that can be bad with anything. You know how that is. I mean, come on. So, you know, my thing is if they can benefit from it, that's a beautiful thing.
That's beautiful.
You know,
Okay.
like I got high schoolers that's going into college, and I tell them, you know, take care of business first, you know, your first year. So I wouldn't really get into that type of stuff.
So with that new NIL, just listening to what you said, I could come in there and SMD could come in there and start that with them before they even go to rookie.
You know, I'm glad that this happened to come up like this because that wasn't even on my radar.
Right, right.
I mean,
You can start
with
there. SMD
man,
can start
yeah,
there.
yeah. I mean, put it this way, that opens up options for you like significantly.
Yes, it does. You're right. Because I
You know
didn't know
what I
that
mean?
piece. I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's something that maybe we can do a show on NIL alone. Do a
Yeah.
little
Okay. I'm
research
taking
because
notes. Taking notes.
no, that's a good one there, man. And like I say, it's legal. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I like
Wow.
about it. And somebody like you, man, I think you could flourish. That's why the first thing I thought about, it was a while back. I don't know if I mentioned to you I want to do a show on this because like this is your like legitimate niche. You know what I mean? Like this is something that of course not only you can benefit, but I think greater for the player,
Yeah.
you know,
I didn't
because
know that you could be balling in college and with NILs. You wouldn't even
oh
they wouldn't have
man,
to work, nothing.
yeah, yeah, because if I remember right, now undrafted free agent, say you go in the draft, right, as a player
Mhm.
and you don't get drafted, you
Mhm.
might only get like a 5,000 signing bonus, man, to show up.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Dang, they
know,
just go all the way. I mean, that's nothing
that's
compared to
nothing. Yeah,
wow.
50,000. I mean, come on, in the big picture, that's nothing. So you be better off staying like instead of leaving your junior year, why not stay and you banking like 500 G, you know? And a lot of these guys are women, it doesn't matter what you are, but a lot of them are getting like deals with cars. You know, you riding around in a Bentley for free. Yeah, on top of making money. See what I mean?
Uh,
So why would you want to go to the NFL, not get drafted, especially because they have like parameters. You can put your name in and they can tell you, hey, you probably most likely going to be first, second round, third, fourth round, fifth round undrafted. So the projections are there. They're not always accurate, but they're about 80% accurate. So if you're going into your possible senior year and you let's say you're a running back, because running backs tend not to
mhm,
have a long shelf life because you know
mhm,
the physicality they take on both in college and NFL. Let's say you only got like a 3 year hiatus at the NFL level.
mhm.
Why not make money in college before you got to go to the NFL? Why go your junior year if you're not going to be a first, second round pick? Because the upfront money ain't going to be there guaranteed. See what I mean?
Mm,
And
mm.
that extra year might benefit you helping your draft status. So that's a win-win to me.
See, Omanike brought this a good point, and I know we're kind of going off a little bit, but what if the big companies wouldn't be no different than any other, like a record company? What if they get these young people in and say, "Hey, we will forward you the money to come on to like we'll just use Frito-Lay again." And they say, "Hey, we're gonna front this money for you, but you're gonna be with us for 2 years doing Frito-Lay commercials." And what if these young kids don't really know and they sign up, right? Knowing that they just signed away the money that they don't really even got yet, or they got it up front, but they got to pay it back and work for them. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, but because big companies are like that, it's business. It's nothing personal, and they don't care if you're in college or not. It really don't matter.
Oh no, don't like when you hear like these guys getting 20, 30 million a year, the first thought that comes to my mind, what's the owner making?
Exactly. Oh, that's the only thing I think about the NFL. If a player, one player, Kansas City Chiefs get $500,000 to throw a ball, how much is the owner making?
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna tell you right now, they're making at least 2 to 3 times what you're getting paid.
They're in the trillions. They got to be,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah. Come
Okay.
on, man.
Yeah, they're in the
I mean,
trillions.
if the organizations themselves is in the billions, we're not talking about concessions and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? Like the team owners are probably getting other contracts with other businesses because they own an NFL
Right,
franchise.
right.
So you know what I mean? So you can't really just and how come it is that the NFL owners don't have to have their books on paper? Nobody sees
Exactly.
that.
Well, they're private entities though. That's right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you see what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah.
not hating them for it because hey, that's the way it is.
That's pretty cool how they do that. They keep their stuff private and then openly talk about the players because they're employees, so they can just openly talk about their salaries, right?
Hmm.
And keep people distracted on their salaries and not the money that they're making.
Well, it's a beautiful system when you
It
think
is a
about it.
beautiful system. It
I
is.
didn't say if it was right or wrong, but I mean,
Right.
you know,
It's
when you
beautiful to me. It's beautiful.
yeah, I mean that's been going on from the beginning, man. You know, like I
Yes.
remember like way back with smoking. You know, that was cool to smoke in the movies. Remember that?
Yep, that's crazy. Yep.
You know, now you know you can't really do that. But I mean, you know, as time goes on, you know, there's change each way. And
Yeah.
I like I said, the NIL to me is a beautiful thing. Like you hear the other side. You
Mhm,
know, what if somebody gets you know, finagle for their money, the kid.
mhm.
Well, you know, that's going to happen regardless if they don't have the right backing.
See, and that's where I want SMD to come in. See, that to be able to say, "Oh, you've been approached with an NIL or for an NIL. Okay, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to
Hmm.
approach it. This is how we're going to." Because imagine a kid with no representation, no kind of knowledge. They come in, or they see all this money that they've never seen before. The first thing they're thinking about is the money, how they're going to show off in front of their friends,
Yep.
and with the car, not realizing that half of that's gonna be eaten up by taxes if you don't know how to do it right. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know that.
Well, you know how it is. I remember when I was in my 20s, man, you ain't thinking about no house and security.
I knew what I was thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And what you had to acquire to get that attention from what you're
Yeah,
looking for. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what that was about. But yeah, like I said, getting back to what we was talking about, I think this is a subject matter that like you know we definitely need to talk about offline because
Yeah.
there's some thoughts that just popped in my head as far as getting you out there.
Mhm,
See what I'm saying?
mhm.
And I think this could be the start of a lot of opportunities because SMD philosophy isn't limited to any one industry.
Well, I think it encompasses every I think you're right, you probably noticed that I've been kicking out 6 cents, but that's another subject. But how do okay, how I guess what it is how would SMD get in? I guess that it has to be through you, through your
Hmm.
knowledge of football and how that's the only way in because I don't really, and this might just be me, but I don't think anything has ever happened. SMD has ever happened to a rookie player before.
Oh no, no. Like they have I think it's rookie symposiums, and they talk about you know uh, all kind of stuff, money wise, who to talk to, who not to talk to, but it's
Mhm.
very generalized.
Yeah,
You know
who
what I
set
mean?
that? Who sets that up? The
Well, the
NFL.
NFL, yeah. Here we go, big business again. See what I mean?
Big business that deals with trillions of dollars that knows
Right.
how this works and got excellent lawyers
And
to
think
handle
about
that.
this: you might think 200,000 is a lot to you, but to them, that's nickels.
That's $200, maybe
Not
200.
even that. Yeah, we talking trillions. See what I
Yeah,
mean?
we're
So
talking
you're
trillions.
giddy and happy to get that, and probably working your butt off to stay in NFL, which ain't nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, they profiting off your work.
Yes, they are.
You
Yes,
see,
they are.
and I ain't got a problem with that because that's the American way. All I'm saying on the player side is maximize your just like they're doing. You need to maximize what you got. So if that means getting on TikTok and being an influencer while you're in the NFL, maybe getting on a few shows, to get yourself out there if you got a personality, then do that,
Mm.
And so, um, like I said, we definitely need to talk because, there's some people I network with. And my thing is, don't forget, I'm getting the players when they're like freshmen. See, when you get a bond with them and their
Mm.
trust. See what I mean?
Mhm.
So and that's a continuous thing because my evaluation process never stops. See, so I know people in the league, and the bottom line is all you need is that initial first one,
Mm.
and from there, I have
And
no
see, but
doubt.
that's where I feel that's where you come in,
Yeah.
right? Because I don't know the lingo. They don't know that they don't know. Say like we were walking into an office together. They don't know I have a guy with me that understands this stuff passionately since he was a child, writing down notes and all this other stuff
Mhm.
that you and I were talking about.
Right. Right.
They don't know how deep it goes. So when you come in and start spitting that knowledge, they're gonna automatically know, but they're gonna be looking at me like, okay, what's he here for? But you know that part. You you
Right.
make the connection to between me and the NFL or whatever that thing is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's where the individual player comes in because to
Mm,
me, the NFL, no disrespect to them, but the players make up the NFL, not vice
correct.
versa.
Correct. Correct.
So if I have a connection with a players, and that's what life is all about. The network,
Mhm.
it's about who you know, and so whoever I have in my network is very similar to me because that's how I roll. So they're gonna be open to at least listening about this LJ guy, right? And
Mhm.
so probably the first thing I would do is say, hey, go to his YouTube channel and get a feeling for what he does, and you'll see that this can be easily implemented to for not only the now, but later on past your football future.
Forever. This is forever.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle,
And
and
you
but
know
the
so
thing,
crazy, Ken? This was so crazy, Ken. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but I
no, go
want
ahead,
before I
go
thought
ahead,
this. You know so crazy. If you really think about it, okay, you really think about it. If the players had SMD knowledge, they could they could start their own league.
bro. That's
They
you
don't
know,
need the NFL. They could just say, "Hey, you know
yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah.
Just take this. Let's take this SMD knowledge, pool our money together. All they
Hmm.
have to do is just one
Right.
contract, save all your bread, and start your own league. You can.
Well, something. I guess you would almost say, as a fan of football, something that kind of there's an issue going on now with the running back position
What is
and
that?
how they're getting devalued money wise. Because the
Really?
NFL they're more or less saying that I guess the running back position in their eyes is not as important as it used to be. Which I look at it this way, man. You can't generalize any position. There's like layers to every position. You
Mhm.
got your elite players at every position. You got your a little bit above average. You got your average and below average. And so, if you're an elite running back, you should be getting paid. You know what I mean? As an elite player, period. The thing with the NFL is they went for years by okay, a quarterback should get this much because he's look, man, just because you're a quarterback don't mean you a top tier quarterback. See what I mean? Like they got quarterbacks making 40, 50 million a year and starting running backs making 2.54 million. Come on, man.
Wow.
There's no way in the world that you 10 times better than somebody else. I mean,
Right.
that philosophy right there alone, and so people go, okay, well, why don't they strike? The problem with striking is, you got the NFLPA, which represents them. Okay, now those very people that make the 40, 50 million, are they gonna want to like balance out the money?
Mhm.
I mean, it's good for the greater good, but now we're talking individual situations, and that's mainly the quarterbacks,
Mm.
and
Mm.
so it would be good long term for the success of individual players,
Mm.
but it's not good for that individual position. So,
Mm. Mm.
that's where to me they're kind of cannibalizing themselves long term as players because put it this way: if you have a Earl Campbell and he got reincarnated and was put in college and did the same outstanding things he did back then and could be the same now, he gonna go in the top 5 because he's that talented. I don't care what they run,
Mhm.
what kind of offense. If you that good, you that good. That's why you in the Hall of Fame. See what I mean? Because
Mhm.
you're just a special individual. So my thing is when those guys come through the pipe, and there's a few guys that I see right now that are Hall of Fame potential type running backs. Not too many, but there's a few.
Mhm. Mhm.
Why should you have to like they're asking for 15 million a season, the top guys, which
Damn, that's
that's
crazy.
nothing, man.
That's
It,
nothing.
it's not keeping up with inflation. Like back in the day, it's not.
15 million
Like
a year
back
is
in the
not
day,
keeping
let's
up
say
with
10
inflation?
years ago, a top quarterback might make, I don't know, 20 mil. And top running back might make, I don't know, let's say 11, 12. Eh, I didn't like that, but that's more comparable. See what I mean? But
Mm.
now when you got somebody making 10 times, even more than that, that's got to be balanced
So
out.
what is is the percentage high that they go in there, and come out broke? Because I always hear that they go in, they make all these millions of dollars, but as soon as their contract is over or their career is over, they're broke. Is that a high percentage or is that a low
Yeah,
percentage?
higher than you think. Because see, here's the thing. Most of those guys don't make millions.
Oh
They're
yeah.
like in the hundred thousands, 200, 300,000 a year. Because
Oh,
the average lifespan I think is like 3.2 years.
of a NFL player.
Yeah. So if you average it out over, let's say 3, 4 years, um, you might make maybe 1.5 if you lucky.
Mm,
That's not a
mm.
lot because you gotta
And
think
that's
about their
gross too, and
lifestyle.
that's probably
Think about the
gross,
lifestyle. You know what I mean? I mean,
and they probably was living $1 million lifestyle with
yeah,
making
yeah.
300,000.
I mean,
Gotcha.
nobody thinks they're only gonna last 3 years. I mean, since the
Wow.
time you was 12 years old, you've been special. Why is that gonna change when I get to the NFL? I mean, that's the mindset, and I
Right.
understand it. That's why they made it. But the reality of it is no, you're gonna be 3.5, 3.2 is the average lifespan.
Mm.
So when you look at these quarterbacks and other positions that be 8, 10 years, that
That's rare.
yeah, that's the exception to the rule.
Gotcha.
See what I mean?
Okay,
So
so when I see the one player, I know this kinda a little bit off, but when I see the one player, I don't know his name, going through, if you go play 20 years, 30, because there's been players gone playing for 20 years, right?
right, there's some quarterbacks, yeah.
So that's like unheard of.
Oh man, they done made like hundreds of millions of dollars. You know what I mean? I
Gotcha.
mean, we talking, but see, once again though, that position isn't that they don't take the physical pounding like a running back. See what I
Yeah,
mean?
they don't, not because you can barely touch them in any
And
way almost.
to me, that has to be. I understand. See, I'm more of a purist when it comes to football.
Mhm.
Do I believe the quarterback position is important? Very
Mhm.
important because they have their hands on the ball each and every play, one way or the other.
Mhm.
So you do have to be like, uh, you know, very learned of what's going on throughout
Mhm.
the play because you're in command of the offense. But at the same time, let's balance this out. You know what I mean? We got 53 men on the roster, and as far as a coach is concerned, all 53 is important.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I'm not diffusing the importance of the quarterback position, but to say you're 10 times worth somebody else, that something's off balance. You get what I'm saying? Like something's going to have to get even double to
Well,
me.
I guess how can okay, I guess this, where, as far as, okay, I could see us coming in as SMD as rookie, talking to a rookie. What about SMD talking to uh college versus a already player in the NFL? How would we be able to get in and talk to those people?
See, I think the NIL would be better right now.
Right. Their
I really
minds would be
do.
more open because they
Yeah.
haven't been exposed. Yeah.
And you're catching them earlier to where they're open to other things. Because every
Mhm.
year that goes by, you got to understand, like their mindset and the people they have around them gets closed in more.
Mm,
You
mm,
know what I mean? It's
mhm.
like anything else. Let's say you worked on the stock exchange. you're gonna be a totally different person working on the stock exchange as a first year person as somebody
Right.
6 years in.
Right.
Now you have connections, networking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think that you're more uh, savvy as far as your money because you've been
Mhm.
in it longer.
Right.
But really, all you're doing is going with the wave that was taught to you. That doesn't mean that wave is the proper way to go, but that's just how everybody, the majority, do it.
Mm.
See,
Mm.
SMD isn't the majority.
Mm.
It isn't.
Yeah, no, far from the majority.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
way that, and they never will be either. Honestly,
No,
will.
no.
It's. I think when it comes to that kind of stuff and being able to get in there and help, because once we get in there,
Oh, it's over.
it's gonna spread like
You know what it'd be like?
wildfire.
I don't mean to cut you off. It'd be
No, no,
like
no. Go ahead.
Deion Sanders and what he doing over at Colorado, shocking the world.
Okay, give me I don't really follow that stuff and really
Yeah.
understand it. Kind of give me a rough overview of that because that is a good point. Because
Oh
I know they were
man.
tripping that he left one
Yeah.
college and taking millions over at another. I'm like, what? Why are you upset about that move? But go ahead.
Well, I like Dion because he an out the box thinker, and we
Mm,
think similarly, right? Like, remember I was telling you, okay. Let me tell you something. I'll go back to the high school philosophy. I'll give out a couple of nuggets. The first couple of things I would implement because I had that evaluation process in my mind is first thing is GPA. Like I told you, I would raise the GPA. It wouldn't be outlandish, but I want to make sure that you're serious about your academics. You know what I mean? And what that's gonna do is gonna take care of the riffraff. Now, if you have a learning disability, then that's gonna be factored in. But you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah.
You're definitely gonna have to have a GPA. Now, the second thing I would implement first day of practice is I would have areas set up for different positions: wide receiver, cornerback, running back, quarterback, whatever. Now, I'm gonna tell you, hey, y'all free to go in any one y'all want. See what I
Mm,
mean? We got
mm,
the drills there. If you 6'5", 250, and you think you're a quarterback, then you got to show it in the drills. I'm not
mm,
gonna limit your size to what you can do. Show us what you can do.
mm,
Because too
mm.
many times coaches get generalized. They say, "Oh, he about 5'11", 220, run this, that." Okay, most likely this is what he is. Well, if we went by that standard, then Michael Vick wouldn't have been a quarterback.
Mm,
You
mm,
know what I mean? So
mm.
I'm letting you have the opportunity to pick what you want to play. And I ain't gonna have nothing to do with it. The drills are gonna tell you if you're capable of
The
doing it. See what I mean?
drill's gonna
So
tell you.
right. So
Yeah.
guess what, big man? The drill said you ain't a quarterback. So let's throw you in the offensive line drills and see how you do there.
Do you find a lot of the people that you have dealt with are really not are they financially knowledgeable or not?
I would say no. Because
Mm,
most of their life, what they been doing? They've been balling.
right, right.
You know what I mean? And so that's not a natural.
And the parents probably don't know either.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And that's no slight on either one, the parent or the player.
Right, right.
It's just it is what it is, you know? And so
Yeah.
like I remember a long time ago, I was talking to somebody, I can't remember exactly how they worded it, but they said like where you start in life, like okay, like the family you were born into has nothing to do with your future. Like a lot of
Oh,
people will say
yeah.
like, oh man, I grew up here and my family didn't have this and that. And I hear what you're saying.
Mhm.
But see, once you become grown, 18 and up, that now nobody wants to hear that anymore. That sounds
Because
raw.
you're a legal adult now.
Yeah. See?
Ah.
And so one thing I tell players when I'm playing, when I'm interacting with them, I want to tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear.
Mm.
So you're gonna have to get used to that. See what I mean?
Do you
Now
say
I'm not,
that? Do you say that to them?
yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
actually say that to them because see, I want to see their reaction.
Mhm.
See? Because I'm gonna tell you, if they love what they're doing, which is gonna be ball, and depending on the level, if you in high school, ball and academics, they go one and one. So if you're serious about what you do, I'm gonna be able to tell by your reaction and my follow-up questions.
Right. And your grades if you're serious.
Well, that's why the GPA gonna get higher.
Mm.
Now, I'm
Got
not
you.
gonna say you're gonna have to be an A student, but you're gonna have
Right.
to work.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to
who
work.
gonna at least try, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause see,
Right.
like I said, football to me is extracurricular. That's fun part of life. See what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
But academics is the future of your long-term life,
And
regardless.
respect and people and respect and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the foundation. See, what we're doing on the field is the fun part, and gives you opportunity to let your athletic ability and
Mhm.
have fun, because life is about fun. But the foundation of why you're going to school is for the academics.
Mm.
So I'm gonna be
Mhm.
on you about that. Like you might be running by right before practice starts. I said, "Whoa!" I said, "Miss Johnson, I tell you."
Mm.
See, now Miss Johnson is his math teacher,
Mm.
and he
Mm.
know he ain't doing like he supposed to. Now I'm not gonna say no more, but he gonna be like, "Geez,
So they pretty much like they know the consequences too, right?
oh yeah,
If they're not up, they're off. If
yeah."
their
There,
grades are
there,
not up,
there is
they're out.
no like I say, we already gonna go through all the
You don't care
details.
how good they are, right?
Not that has nothing, no, because like I told you, this is an extracurricular.
Mm.
See what I mean? So
Mhm.
this is a privilege to be doing this.
Imma bring Nick up here, man. I think Nick I don't know if you wanna ask you questions. Is that okay? I wanna make sure
Yeah, yeah,
because
I love it.
I know we're putting this together. I just wanna make sure I'm doing it right.
Hey,
So,
we building that plane as we go.
okay, let me add Nick. What's up, Nick? SMD fam. What's going on, sir?
Hey, what's going on, SMD fam? What's going
Yeah, I
on,
like
LJ?
this.
What's up, the scout? How you doing, brothers?
You know it, man. I love making the pizza while we before we put it in the oven. Come on.
Yeah, man. I think this is good what you guys are doing. But I'll introduce myself, guys. Know LJ for a while now. I've been part of the SMD family, got debt free,
Mm,
and now I do software training at
mhm,
Dominate Tech. But yeah, I figured I'd act as a football player. Actually, I played in high school at Paul Six. I went to Penn State. I didn't play there,
mhm.
but I went there as well. But I figured I'd play as like a high school
Well, you a
football
Nittany
player.
Lion then, huh?
Oh, yes, sir.
I
Yes,
love it. They're
sir.
gonna do good this year, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, they got a killer squad. But yeah, they're probably listening right now too.
Oh, I
But
don't
like,
mean to cut you off, but I am Ohio State Buckeye, so I'm
oh,
your
okay,
number,
yeah, Ohio State too. Shout out to them, Buckeyes.
no
Yeah,
doubt.
so I guess let's start with high school, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
and then we can work our way to college and then to the NFL and whatnot. But I'll just be a high school player and I'll just ask some questions. So like, let's say I'm a high school player, right? Like, what's the best way for me to manage myself financially? Like, I don't know, like maybe I don't have a job yet. I'm an athlete, really talented. Like, how do I manage my money? How do I get more money at this stage?
That's a good question. I definitely would have to know like your background as far as your family situation, academics. Because when you put it this way, if you're in high school, but if you're doing like academics and you're doing a sport outside of that academics, that's a lot of time. So then, one thing I would do as an individual, sit down with you and scope some things out. Like, okay, hey Nick, um, after you get out of school,
Mhm.
um, what sport are you doing? What time do you
Well,
go to
yeah, this is football. So like I
Okay.
figured I was gonna ask the questions in a way where it combines what you're
Mhm.
talking about, Scout,
Okay. Okay.
and what LJ would talk about financially, right?
Right,
So we can
right.
kind of get like both aspects of it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
from
let's just
my
say, yeah, they go to high school, right?
Mhm,
Middle class family,
mhm.
maybe can't afford a car yet or whatnot, but like that, it's not like maybe not completely broke, I would say,
Right,
but
right.
like the middle ground maybe?
Yeah,
Or
I
you wanna
think
speak on that?
yeah, I don't mean to cut you, but I think the first thing I'm thinking about right now is summer. See what I mean? That's the first thing that comes to my mind because you're gonna have more free time. So
Right.
if I was let's say I was a coach for the football team, and you came to me about wanting to earn some money. First thing it was what kind of networking do I have within that town? See what I mean? Because I'm sure I'm
Right.
gonna know people that I can network with as far as part-time jobs, things like this. Let's say you don't have a car. Okay, is there a bus line? See what I'm saying? We'll have to figure out the bus line thing. But I
Right.
would say primarily we would focus on summer. See what I
Okay,
mean?
cool.
And,
So, what's the best way to, be financially, like, supported in high school, as, like, an athlete? Like, you're a football athlete. Um, is there any ways that you can get, like, sponsorships and stuff like that, scholarships? Like,
yeah.
what's the best way to get that?
Well, remember I was talking about the influencing thing, like, There's no age bracket on that, so you could become like let's say a TikTok. That's something I would definitely recommend. You know,
Oh, okay. Leveraging social media.
yeah, I think that's a good thing. I wish I had that when I was coming through the pipe. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
Utilizing like TikTok, what have you. You know, I'm not real good with all that stuff, but I know the younger crowd, they good with it. And maybe you don't even want to start with sports, but something that you like you have a passion. Maybe it might be gardening. I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you can go on there and talk about gardening. If you got a passion for it, people can see through on that. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let's say you do get recruited to a
Mhm.
big 10 college. What are some of the biggest financial mistakes that freshmen make? Let's say you just started on a team or whatnot. What are some financial stuff that you can avoid, and what's the best way to move financially at that stage?
Two things that come to my mind is out going partying a lot. Let's face it, you want to be with the crowd, you want to be with your peers, and partying costs money. You know
Right.
what I mean? And I'm going to tell you something else. I would definitely, if I was a parent of a college student, and one thing I would definitely put the lockdown on is getting credit cards, because on campuses that you can talk on this. They got,
Yeah, they're gonna hit you with the credit
oh,
cards. Yeah. Oh, you
you
just joined the
can,
football team? Oh,
oh
yeah,
man,
you're gonna need money.
students,
Yeah.
period. They got those
Got
plopped
these
up
credit
everywhere,
cards.
every corner you go. So definitely don't do that. If
Okay.
anything is, we'll go back a little bit. Sign on with your parent. As far as a credit card, they can add you on as long as they got a good history. You know, and so yeah, definitely do not. The partying scene. I'm not saying you can't have a good time, but everything got to be done within reason.
Within reason.
Yeah,
Okay.
and definitely the credit card thing.
Okay, cool.
And
So
don't try to be the flashy guy with the chains. That costs too,
yeah, I can't get a small chain, tennis
Well,
chain, VS
you,
diamonds.
you can go down like Mexico or something, make it look like bling bling, but it don't.
Right. Ball on a
Just don't let
budget.
nobody touch it, right? You know what I mean?
No diamond testers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so all right. So I heard you were talking about Scout. Your name's Ken, correct?
Right.
Okay, Ken. Yeah, so NIL, name, image, and likeness, right? So what are
Hmm.
some maybe pitfalls that players make with their name, image, and likeness as far as that area in college football?
Yeah, I would say like jumping at the first thing that somebody throws at you. Like anything, you gotta do your history and background on whoever might want to sponsor you.
Right.
And now that kind of goes back to like, I wouldn't say LJ, but somebody with a similar background or somebody is looking out for you. They can help you
Right.
through this. See what I mean? And so I'm glad you asking that, because see, LJ is the perfect
Hey, Ken, hold on
person.
1 second. LJ,
Yeah.
you there? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Uh,
All
yeah,
right, go ahead, Ken.
I'm mostly listening to you guys.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
No, but I was gonna say like that's where I think you can shoot some stuff at LJ, because that's more the parameter NIL, name, image, and likeness. He might have some ideas as far as that go.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and I do. The first thing I would do, SMD is deeper than the norm. So first thing I would do is see. I would like to meet their parents, right? To see, because all we have to do is just listen to them and see where they're at financially, see what they're thinking. I would just listen to how they're talking. If they're talking like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get my son in there and talking about what they're gonna buy or whatever, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to be able to talk to this guy, and I have to really evaluate if I'm going to be able to get through to him, because if I'm there, I'm assuming they know who I am, right? So they kind of have an idea. But who brought me there? Is it the kid, or is it the parents?
Right. That
That's
is
going to be the
significant.
key. I need to hear them talk, and then once I hear them talk, I'll know where to go from there. Because again, if I'm there, somebody brought me there, and they know what value I'm gonna bring. So I have to, and the main subject is the kid. So
Okay, let's move to NFL. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
star athlete in college, you just got a contract, right? You're about to go to the league, you picked your team. Like, what are some financial pitfalls that usually athletes are going to fall into at this point?
I think that's a Ken question. I think.
Yeah, I figured it'd
Yeah.
be like I'm asking the questions in a way where you both can relate.
Oh, I think I'm glad you said that. The good questions, by the way, Nick.
Oh yeah, awesome.
I like how you think. I can tell that college is kicking in. But
Yeah.
anyway, I love it. But
Yeah,
no,
awesome. Go ahead.
I think the first thing is kind of like going backwards again. The peer thing, because like any level of life, the peer influence is like really important. You have to be, you have to learn to be an individual within the craziness.
Yeah,
I
I
would
can
say.
imagine that's going to be tough. Like, right, or let's say you're an NFL player, you actually wake up to SMD knowledge and you figure out that, oh, there's a debt matrix. Like, everybody around you might not feel that same way. They might want to go to these
No, the
extravagant
majority won't.
parties, you
Yeah,
know, and like I said, I don't have all this money, so it's like I can't really relate on that level. But I do know that it would be probably a shocking experience when you figure out that you're not going to go on that, I don't know, 5-star cruise that you
right,
really can't afford, but
right.
everybody else on the team is going. So how do
Well,
you explain that? Like, how
well,
do you
I got a
get
good one
around
for you, Nick.
personal?
Here's what happens a lot of times. Like, say they're in say you just made the team, right? And you balling on 200,000 a year. That ain't nothing. I mean, in the big picture, right?
Right,
Because you got veterans making 800 G and up easy, right? Now you balling make maybe 150,000. You might be on the practice squad, not even making 100 G, right? But
right.
everybody goes out after the game, right? Now, a lot of times what the veterans do, they'll throw the bill on the rookies. Man, that bill can be 20 G. 20 G a night. You see what I mean? Because
That's
they balling
crazy.
like
Crazy.
Yeah.
true ballers,
Yeah,
man.
you gotta
Popping
make
bottles.
the starting squad just to buy
Oh
drinks.
man,
Just
you
to
know
buy
what 20
drinks.
G is? Yeah. When you making 120, man. So that puts you in a bad scenario because, like, look, I might do the pregame before we go out. Hey, fellas, hey, I love to come out with you guys and stuff, but come on, man, don't be throwing the bill on me, please. I play, you know what I mean? You got to like do the pregame before it
Right.
come up, and
Well,
if they
see,
be like,
SMD would teach them like, nope, nope.
maybe you don't
Let them
go,
know
man.
before you even go out.
Yeah,
Nope,
maybe
don't do
don't even
that.
go,
Else
man.
I'm not going.
Yeah. Like I
Mm.
heard Ocho Cinco, Chad, Ocho Cinco back in the day.
Yeah.
There was like on record where I guess back in the day he would sleep at the facility, man, to save money. So he could keep his money. Yeah, bank his money. They would let him do it. You know how much
Oh,
he saved, man? I
I
mean, it
bet he
might sound
did.
crazy, but look at him now. He ain't hurting for money, is he?
Right.
Wow. No, I never
Yeah.
follow him like that. I mean, I don't follow sports plays,
Yeah.
but
I
he just
heard
sound
about
like
that.
he sound like a person smart with his bread.
Yeah,
Oh
because
man,
I
he
think
is.
that's, I mean, could you say that many athletes end up going broke after they retire or if they fall out of the league? And I
Mhm.
think that could be mainly due to the social pressure of
Right.
buying these things on that level because you're expected to have a certain type of appearance, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So in order to fit in, I bet it's harder with this type of knowledge the higher you go in that public type of field.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
you better believe the owners know this. What we're talking about, Nick. The SMD. You better believe the owners understand SMD. It's probably been through generations. They
Right.
just don't share it with them.
Well, you know, it almost be like as an owner, you're looking at the players, they're not part of your immediate family.
Correct. Correct.
They're just
They're just employees. They're
yeah,
businesses. Yeah,
period.
business
You know,
expenses.
unless it's like that quarterback, right? Because you got to think about it. He's not just the quarterback; he's the face of your franchise.
Mm, mm.
So he's an investment, right? So you might not want to give a real big hassle over the 30 million. To him, that's a lot of money, but to you, it ain't nothing. But you make it like it's something, like you're important, right?
I guess as we're talking here, I guess we're basically trying to figure out a plan,
Hmm.
the entry point of these three things: high school, college, pros, right?
Right.
What I guess the younger they are, to me, I'm picturing this. The entry point is going to be their parents
Right.
because there's not less influence. Because as they go, there's going to be a wider of people of influence, right?
Hmm.
And if I could catch them at
I say the
high
high
school,
school level. High
high
school.
school level, or maybe even beginning of college.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think those are really good entry points because after that point, you start getting closer to if you're really good, and this is just, I'm just imagining this, and you're really good, now the big boys, the NFL is going to be looking at them, and they got many more resources and practices to not even outshine a bigger voice than little SMD. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they have a track record, right? And so the track record says, hey, Nick, you need to go with us. See what I mean? Like, if you're making 150,000, we can't promise you anything, but maybe if you make this investment in this, the projections is you'll make this 8%, right? And that and so Nick never being in this forum before, wow, that ain't too bad. That's doing over 3%. You know, I'm beating inflation.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so let's say NFL player, like, what are some questions that they should ask their financial advisor?
First of all, knowing the background of SMD, you better know what his background is as far as his financial. Is he in the plus or the minus?
LJ, you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah,
I do.
I mean, see where I went with a Nick, because that's part of my lifestyle now.
Facts, Ken. Yeah, go ahead. Some advice on that, because like the first thing I guess they're listening to our financial advisor. Like, you know, I don't have a sports financial advisor. I don't know what they would tell them, but you know, what are some questions that
they should ask a financial advisor?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just I mean, but they gotta have SMD knowledge when they walk in the room, because we already know that. You know, if I could go with them, that would be better.
Yeah, that'd be beautiful.
But if they're by themselves, I'll give them the questions. Hey, you know, just like we always talk. The college degrees be on the wall. You walk in and say, "Hey, you graduated back in 2000." Yeah, you turn to them and say, "Do you still have your student loans?" And if they say yes, you don't go with their financial advisor because he's had student loans for 23 years.
Right.
I mean, what's the big deal though? He has little student loans. He went to college as well. What's the big deal?
And I'll say it like this. He went to college for 4 years, but he kept his student loans for 23. So you tell me, does that add up? Then they'll kind of make the connection. Yeah, why would you go to college for 4 years and pay on it for 23 years?
So you're saying he's less credible because he still has student loans, because if he was super successful, he would have paid them off.
Correct. If he had the money that he's portraying by his office, his car, his clothes, all the pictures of his family on the desk, if it was that much money, those student loans wouldn't exist.
Like something ain't adding up.
Correct.
Something's money there.
And that's what the young person needs to know, because they're going to impress them by stuff, right? But a young person doesn't know, wait a minute, if you have all this money, why did you go to college for 4 years and kept your student loans for 23? It makes no sense. Like their student loans will be their oldest debt. Your student loans are older than your house, your car, your marriage, everything, your kids. All of that doesn't make sense. All of it.
That's just like most people. Their initial thought is,
correct.
When you ask them about their house, they say, "Oh yeah, I own a house."
I own a house. Yeah.
No, you own a mortgage.
You own a mortgage.
So you're saying that these players that I see, a lot of them who are have all these cars, and big houses, that they don't actually own them in cash, like they have mortgages?
Correct. They have mortgages.
I wouldn't say all of them, but a lot of that is stage stuff, man. They're renting that stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
They're renting that. I know that for a fact. Like, and then they tend to do excessive things. Own 3-4 houses for what?
Right. And 3 or 4 mortgages.
Yeah, I mean, even if you pay it off, though, like what are we doing here? Like, at some point, this doesn't make any sense. I mean,
and see, but the young people don't know to listen for that. Like, if you watch say like you're watching a reality show with a player or somebody supposedly rich, all you got to do is listen. They'll tell you in the video if they have a mortgage. Oh yeah, this mortgage is expensive. It's like, wait a minute, what are you doing with a mortgage? You're a multimillionaire. What are you doing with a mortgage? Now, there's other reasons to have a mortgage when you have a lot of money. It could be tax reasons, right? It counts on how you say it, though, right? They say it just like everybody else. Oh yeah, my mortgage is this. Well, you wouldn't quite talk like that if you did it. You were doing it a different way. Just put it that way.
Like you might say, yeah, I have a house in Connecticut. I got a house in blank. But I love it because not only do I own it, but I rent it out. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Something like that, where everybody.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, it becomes like part of your lifestyle, literally.
But I want the young people to listen for that when they listen. If they hear a person, all these reality shows, all you got to do is listen. They always talk about mortgages and car payments, but you got to remember the young person believes mortgages and car payments are normal. They don't know to listen to the person and say, wait a minute, you showing me Ferraris, houses, and and you're making payments on all of it. That means you're just like me, but your payments are just higher. And
Payments
then
are just bigger.
if they're told that, they're like, okay, that's not the person. And then they come across a guy like what you say, Chad, what's his name?
Yeah, Ochocinco,
Right.
yeah.
He stayed in the facility and blah, blah, blah. They don't really understand why he's doing that, but he's probably stacking so much bread and making that kind of money. His money is endless.
So you're saying if enough players maybe followed the SMD philosophy and were debt free, they'd be able to start their own
They
league?
can start their own league.
Absolutely.
Easy.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing though. You'd almost have to keep that underground.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if they got word of that,
right,
you might get cut.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking about that because we're talking trillions of dollars.
I mean, I thought about it earlier, but like yeah, that had to be underground, man.
But you know what? But this is America, though, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you right now, LJ,
you cannot be scared.
Business. That's big business right there.
This is business. You cannot.
That's old money, man. You don't mess with that old money. You see what I mean?
Because isn't like Ice Cube or somebody, aren't they trying to start their own football league or some crap or something like that?
Yeah,
XFL.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard nothing about that, but like it's gonna be tough because see, then you're talking about television, you know what I mean? Television rights.
I mean, you go right on YouTube.
Right.
TV is gone.
Yeah.
That's gone.
I mean, literally the only thing that people are watching on TV is sports. I mean, and then you can stream that too elsewhere. So
correct. You don't have to, those days are done being capitalized in that. So I think right now, honestly, this is the prime time for a young athlete to get SMD knowledge, right? Because to me, from the outside looking in, NFL, they don't really, the big companies that have been ruling for the last 50, 60 years, it's changing now. It really is the way it's being, and if they come across this knowledge that if the players could wake up and like, wait a minute, if we're just smart with our money, we can do a contract, live out our finish our contract, and get out here and start our own stuff. We can.
Well, look at I'll use one platform and use it for that. Look at what Dion did. He used a portal. You know, that's where you can take transfer kids and bring them to your team as long as you can evaluate good. Now they're the talk of the town.
Like, I don't think you ever finished that story, by the way.
Yeah, like people, they just never thought that could be done before. Like Colorado went 1-11 last year. They were like one of the worst teams, period.
Did he coach it or what? I don't get it.
Yeah, he came in this past year. And so this is his first year. So what he ended up doing, he got rid of I think it was 70-something players, man, which is unheard of. You might turn over 15, 20 tops. But he did something that was unprecedented. And the beautiful thing is he got it right. You know, he can evaluate. That's what I was trying to tell people a long time ago, like with the high school ranks. I know I could go in and take care of business because really it's the same thing, same philosophy.
Yeah, you know what? You know what I see? Maybe so Ken, you have the area of that recruiting, right? And then LJ, you had the financial knowledge. So maybe we can have a financial like video program that gives them the training on each level.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously the high schooler is going to need to know something different than the college.
Correct.
And then same as in the league. Although there are similarities between all the levels, I'm sure that, you know,
like logistically, like high school, there's limitations. You know what I mean?
Right.
By state.
How do you invest? Oh, okay. If you're not doing this, what are some things to invest in? How to be creative to start your own business? How to do this? How to do that? And I think having this program ready to go for the players, even before they get the money, as like a training program, that would set them up for success.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's a good one there, Nick. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's say right now, like let's say somebody's listening, high school, college football athlete, like what's the best way for them to get financial help at this point?
Well,
that would be you, LJ.
That's a question for me. And I think that's where we're at right now. How do we reach them? How? I don't know.
Well,
How do they?
Well, if you guys
how do
are
I get them to
listening, hit up
listen?
LJ and Ken. You know, I'm sure you guys
yeah,
have your
I was gonna
emails.
say, reaching out and networking, but I'm glad you said that, Nick, because that got me percolating.
Yeah,
'Cause,
and join the Discord, guys, so you guys are alerted when we go live, so you can get this information.
Did you
yeah,
post
But
that link yet, Nick? Did you post that Discord link? Oh
yep,
yeah,
I
there
can
it
do
is.
that right now.
I think you did already. Yeah.
yeah, I seen it up in there. Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay.
because that could be like a place for everybody like to get a hold of us too. The Discord, because I'm pretty sure I'm on the Discord.
But how do they get to the Discord? I mean, we can put the Discord link out there, and but if they don't know about it, they ain't gonna click on
Right,
it. So
right.
how do we
Right.
get it to them?
Well, like I was getting ready to say, we might have to like put some time aside, me and yourself, LJ, as far
Mhm.
as like Nick was speaking on getting some things together, like like almost like a pregame for the kids, at
Yeah.
different levels.
Yeah, consulting.
Yeah,
so they can hit you
yeah.
guys up and get that advice until we get that training program
Right.
together.
Because once we have like a platform, okay, these are the questions we need to ask them. You know what I mean? Like a set platform where you're at right now in your life. Like, who do you have around you? That's important. Like, is it your parents? Are you an orphan? I mean, I don't. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, there's a lot.
Because this was I'm pitching both for Ken and Nick. Once SMD is in, we're in.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Okay, it's gonna be for life. They're gonna share with they're gonna try to share and be hey, look what I discovered.
Don't take your face mask off. We got to rephrase it. Face mask.
Everybody does it. Everybody immediately takes their mask off into their friends and family,
or at least keep the visor on, right?
They're gonna be
keep
like,
the
oh, wait
visor
a minute,
on.
it's not going the way I thought it was gonna go. Then
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So I know how it's gonna
Yeah.
work, but like I said, once we just gotta get in. That's all. Just
Yeah.
gotta get in.
And LJ, I'm just gonna say my piece, and I'm gonna let you guys go.
Yeah.
Advice in high school, guys: get your money, focus on your grades in school, and your recruiting, your skill set. Don't get in debt. See, the sooner you can prevent it is better than the cure, right?
Yeah.
So then college, the same thing. Credit cards, manage your money correctly. Don't overspend, and same thing in the league. Like, manage your money correctly, get it, and make smart decisions. But thanks, LJ. Thanks, Ken, for having me up.
No
Thanks,
doubt.
Nick.
We gotta
Great
have you back,
question.
bro. I like it.
Yes, sir. Salute SMD. Let's go.
You got it.
Great questions. Great question. Appreciate it, Nick, as always.
I like that. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, kid? All right,
You
guys.
know it.
Man, I like Nick's whole setup and the mic and everything. I was like,
yeah.
damn, this
Brother
mic is
professional.
smooth. Very, very professional. Yeah, that's like I said, we just
Hey, with that smile, he could be an influencer. What you think?
Oh yeah, Nick has it all. I don't know what he'd be doing back there. Who knows what he's always probably up to something. But Nick and I talk a lot in the background. We talk a lot in the background. So we talk about many different things too. So
right.
Yeah, man. I just I guess we're looking for the door to get in there. Ken, and it might
we'll get it. We'll get it.
It could start at any door. We just got to get them to hear.
Yeah. But like I said, we got to follow up off here and set some time parameters so we can get together, because really it's all about getting it together and just throwing it out there, and I guarantee it'll work. Because at the end of the day, it's about, we're pure and we're out to help. You know what I mean? So what more you need?
For sure. All right, man. Well, we're gonna wrap this up then, man. Good hour, little hour, over an hour. We're gonna try to keep them around an hour, like we said.
Right.
But thanks again, Ken. Like I said, we're gonna come up with another topic next week and just keep going from there and see where it goes.
Oh man, I can tell you right now, it ain't gonna do nothing but go up, up, and up. Like, get in on the stock while you can.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can already tell, man.
Yes.
I mean, I knew it when we first met. We had a connection. That was
immediately,
I don't
we
even
were
know
talking on the phone for like an hour and
oh man,
I thought it was 10 minutes. Look down, it was an hour and a half. I was like, what the
we had to force ourselves off, you know what I mean?
I know we got to get off here.
But it's all good. Like, I love, like, man, being able to have a platform like, you were so gracious to have me on here, like, because I love sharing this kind of stuff, like with people that I know that's gonna do something right with it.
Yes, for sure. And that's the SMD family. That's why we share with each other, man, because we know which whatever that is, we're gonna have to, that part we have to figure out ourselves. But
Yeah.
whatever it is, it's gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? Because
And
we
the
have the
beautiful
knowledge.
one thing is too, though, we're gonna have to like put some parameters on once it do start to get some momentum, is that they make sure they come back to the originators, because you know there gonna be some copycats
Right.
that
But
ain't got the right, philosophy.
if you don't know about SMD knowledge, you can't copy. It's very difficult to copy what you don't know that exists. You
Oh
know?
yeah. But yeah, this was beautiful, man. I put it this way. I don't know how many people I'd be past the 1 o'clock time when my Browns was coming on over hours to be on here, but this was a beautiful thing, bro.
Yeah, it always is, bro, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate you, man.
And
Thank you so much.
appreciate you coming on, Nick. That was beautiful.
All right, sir, man. I appreciate it, man, Ken. Until next time,
Oh yeah,
all right, man. Thank you, sir.
no doubt. Have a good one, bro.
All right.
And SMD family. Peace.
Later. Yeah, I want you guys, especially you guys even thinking about podcasts. Ken and I was talking about it. You got to just do it. Of course, you got to plan a little bit, set up your stuff, whatever. But as far as the content, you got to just put it out there. We already know the value. We already know the two people giving you the content has a positive purpose to want you to elevate in anything and everything you want to do. Okay, that's why I'm here. That's why Ken is here. This is for us. This is for you. This is for your family. This is for generations of everything. It's bigger than just you. And if you have this knowledge now, there's no stopping you. There's no stopping you. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna come on maybe about another hour or two with another video, SMD stuff. We're gonna go deep in some stuff, but I'll see you guys in probably maybe an hour or two. But I'm gonna send out the notice, send out the link, and then we'll go from there. All right. Thank you everybody for joining. Much appreciated as always. All right. Until next time. Later.